Hello student. So let's start the lymphatic system. So lymphatic system, that is also called the immune system, and you know that is the immune mechanism that is very much important for our body, because whenever any infection, that may be bacterial, that may be viral, that may be parasite or fungus, that should be enters in our body, so that is the immune mechanism or the immune system of our body, it should be stimulated and it should be trap that the infection and kills that these foreign particles and the toxins, and because of this it can make our body, the body atmosphere, as a disease free. So that is the important function which is done by the lymphatic system or the immune system. So the lymphatic system, that consists of the organ, that is the spleen, then the thymus gland, thoracic duct, lymph nodes, lymph vessel, etc. So out of this, that is the spleen, that should be plays the important role in the lymphatic system. So let's start the spleen. So spleen, it is the lymphatic organ which is connected to the blood vascular system of the body. It acts as a filter for the blood and an important role into that the immune mechanism. So let's see the detailed structure related with the spleen. So here you can see that is the spleen. So spleen, it is the lymphatic organ connected to the blood vascular system. It acts as a filter for the blood and important role in the immune system. Then the shape of the spleen. So it is wedge shape. Here you can see that is the shape of the spleen, that is the wedge. Then you can see that is the location of the spleen. So here, according to 9th region of the abdomen, you can see that is the location, exact location of the spleen. So it should be located into the left hypochondric region and the epigastric region. So here you can see that is the left hypochondric and this is the epigastric. Then the spleen is soft and the highly vascular and the dark purple color. So here you can see that is the color of the spleen. Then the measurements of the spleen, that is the length of the spleen, that is near about the 5 inches, the broadness it is the 3 inches, and the thickness it is the 1 inch. So 3 5 3 1 means that is the odd number that is related with the spleen. And the spleen, that should be related with 9, 10 and the 11th rib. So here you can see this is the 9th rib, 10th rib and the 11th rib. Then position of the spleen. So it should be directed downwards, forwards and laterally. So here you can see downwards, forwards and laterally. And it is obliquely present and forming the angle of 45 degree with the horizontal plane. So here you can see that is the 45 degree angle with the horizontal plane. Then external features of the spleen. So spleen have the two ends. So here this is the posterior end and this is the broad anterior end. Then the three borders. This is the superior border, this is the inferior border and the intermediate border, and the two surfaces. This is the visceral surface and outer side, that is the diaphragmatic surface. So here in this diagram you can see this is the diaphragm, this one, and so this is the diaphragmatic surface related with the diaphragm, and this is the visceral surface. So let's see that is the ends of the spleen. So here in this diagram you can see that is the anterior end. So this one, here you can see that is the anterior end. So anterior end, it is expanded, directed downwards, forwards and reach to the mid axillary line, means that is the left mid axillary line. Then the posterior end, this one here you can see that is the posterior end. So it is upwards, backwards and medially, and it is rest on the upper pole of the kidney. So after then we should have to see that is the borders of the spleen. So borders, first that is the superior border. So here you can see the superior border. So the superior border, it shows the notch at the anterior side or anterior end. So here you can see that is the two notches are present. Then the inferior border, this one, so it is rounded and the straight, and the intermediate border that should be present on the medial side of that the spleen. After then we should have to see that is the surfaces of the spleen. So here in this diagram you can see that is the surfaces, this is the visceral surface and this is the diaphragmatic surface. So firstly that is the diaphragmatic surface. So diaphragmatic surface, it is in contact with the diaphragm and it is convex and the smooth. So this one in this diagram you can see that is the diagram here, that is the lung is present, this is the ribs and this is the diaphragm, dome shape. So this surface, diaphragmatic surface, that is in contact with the diaphragm, which is convex and the smooth. After then that is the visceral surface. So here you can see that is the visceral surface. So as the name visceral surface, so this surface that is in contact with the different viscera and it is concave and irregular. So this one surface, this is the concave and irregular. Then this visceral surface that is related with the different viscera. So first that is the renal impression or the renal surface. So the renal surface, it is related with the kidney. So here you can see the renal surface or the renal impression, means that part that is related with the kidney. Second one, that is the gastric surface. So here gastric impression, here you can see. So this part that is related with the fundus of the stomach between the superior and the intermediate border. So here the superior border and this is the intermediate border. So here that the surface is present, it is called the gastric surface or the gastric impression. Then the renal impression that should be present between the intermediate border and the inferior border. Then the colic impression. So here you can see that is the colic impression, this one. So it is related with the splenic flexure of the colon. So splenic flexure, you know that transverse colon that should be turned on the descending colon. So it should be forming that the turning. So here in this diagram you can see this one, this transverse colon and this is the descending colon. So this part, it is called the splenic flexure of the colon. So this one, so that is related with this part. So here in this part, colic impression. After then that is the hilum. So hilum, this one or this one, the hilum. So it is the inferomedial part of the gastric impression. So that is the hilum or the opening of that is the spleen. It should be located on the inferomedial part of the gastric impression and it transmit the splenic vessel and the nerve. So here that the opening is present, so that is opening for the passing of the splenic vessel that include the splenic artery, splenic vein and the splenic nerves, and the gastrosplenic ligament and the linorenal ligament. So these two ligaments that is also related with that this hilum of the spleen. After then let's see the relations of the spleen. So you know the relations that include the peritoneal relations, means related with the peritoneum, and the visceral relation that is related with the different viscera. So first we should have to see that is the peritoneal relations. So the most of the part of the spleen that should be embedded into that the peritoneal fold. So here you can see that is the total part of the spleen except that the hilum that should be covered by the peritoneal membrane. Okay? And in relation with that the other organ, it should be forming that the double fold of that the peritoneum. So it is called the ligament. So there are three ligaments are present. First, the gastrosplenic ligament. So here you can see the double fold of the peritoneum here, that is the gastrosplenic ligament. So this ligament that should be present between the hilum of the spleen to the greater curvature of the stomach. So here that is the greater curvature of stomach is present. So between that is the hilum and the greater curvature of the stomach, that the ligament is present, it is called the gastrosplenic ligament. Second, that is the linorenal ligament. So this one double fold. Here you can see, that is the linorenal ligament. So this ligament that should be present between the hilum of the spleen to the anterior surface of the left kidney, this one, so that the double fold of the peritoneum is present, it is called the linorenal ligament. Then the third ligament, that is the phrenicocholic ligament. So phrenicocholic means that is related with the diaphragm and the splenic flexure of the colon. So here you can see in this diagram, that is the phrenicocholic ligament, this one. So phrenicocholic ligament, it is not attached to the spleen. Here you can see that is not attached to the spleen but supports the anterior end. So it is the horizontal fold of the peritoneum extended from the splenic flexure of the colon. So here you can see that is the splenic flexure of the colon to that the diaphragm. So this one. After then we should have to see that is the visceral relations. So you know the visceral relation that is related with the different impressions which is present on the medial surface of the spleen. So here in this diagram you can see the visceral relations. So first, that is the gastric impression or the gastric relations. So it is the largest impression lies between the superior and inferomedial border. So that is the spleen is present and this surface means here that part the gastric impression is present and that part it is related with the greater curvature of the stomach. Then the renal impression. So here that is the upper pole of the kidney. So that is related with that the spleen, which is present between the inferior border and the intermediate border. And on the lower side of the spleen, here this is the splenic flexure of the colon that should be related. Then the pancreatic impression, here you know that is the tail of the pancreas that is attached to the hilum of the spleen. So here in the medial side or the hilum of the spleen, there is present that the impression, it is called the pancreatic impression. After then we should have to see that is the arterial supply of the spleen. So the blood supply of the spleen, that is from the splenic artery. Here you can see the splenic artery, it is the branch of the colic trunk. So you know colic trunk, it is the branch of the abdominal aorta and suddenly it gives the three branches. That is, first it is the left gastric artery which supply to the stomach, then the splenic artery which supply to the spleen, and the common hepatic artery which supply to that the liver. So the blood supply to that the spleen, that is the splenic artery, and it is very much tortuous, that is due to distension of the stomach whenever that is the entry of the food into that the stomach. So there is no any resistance should be occur to passing of the blood throughout this artery. So near to that the hilum of that is the spleen, that the splenic artery, it should be divided into the 5 or more branches. So here you can see that is the small branches, and then it is enters into that the spleen throughout the hilum. After then that is the venous drainage. So here the venous drainage of the spleen, that should be occurs by the splenic vein. So here you can see that is the splenic vein. So splenic vein, it should be formed by the tributaries which are coming out from the spleen, and then throughout the hilum it should be comes out, and to the posterior part of the body of the pancreas, it should be goes from left to the right side. So during its course, that is the pancreatic vein, they should be joined to that the splenic vein. Then the splenic vein, it is joins with the superior mesenteric vein. So here you can see the superior mesenteric vein at the posterior surface of the head of the pancreas, and then it should be forming that the portal vein, and you know the portal vein that is enters into that the liver. After then, that is the lymphatic drainage. So the lymphatic drainage of the spleen. So spleen or the splenic tissue proper has no any lymphatics, because the spleen, it is the lymphatic organ. The tissue fluid formed into that the spleen is freely enters the venous sinusoids, and the splenic lymphatics are confined to that the trabeculae, capsule and visceral peritoneum. They drain along with the splenic vessels into that the pancreatico-renal lymph nodes. After then, the nerve supply of the spleen. So the spleen, it is supplied by the sympathetic fibers which are derived from the colic plexus. So here you can see the colic trunk or the colic artery, and around this that the plexus is formed of the nerve that is called the colic plexus. They supply blood vessels, that is the vasomotor and the smooth muscle fiber present into that the trabeculae and the capsule of the spleen. After then, we should have to see that is the segments of the spleen. Then the segments of the spleen. So generally this one you can see that is the segments. So this one, that is the superior segment and the inferior segment. So for this, you know that is the splenic artery within the spleen. Usually it gives the two branches, that is the superior branch and inferior branch, and these branches usually do not anastomolize, and each branch supplied its own tertiary segment. So that is the superior artery, splenic artery, it should be supplied to this upper part, and the inferior splenic artery, that is supply to that the inferior part. So that is remaining the middle zone, this one. So this is not supplied by the any branch of the superior artery and the inferior artery. So this zone, it is called the avascular plane or the avascular zone. And according to it, that is the segments, it should be divided into that the upper segment and the lower segments. And clinically these segments are very much important whenever that is the resection of the spleen that should be occur, means that is the surgically whenever you want to remove that the part of the spleen or the splenic tissue. So that is the avascular zone that plays the important role to preserve the splenic tissue. So that is the segments of the spleen. After then, we should have to see that is the clinical application or the applied anatomy. So before starting the clinical anatomy, let's see the functions of the spleen. So the first function of the spleen, that is the phagocytosis. So due to that the macrophages, that it should be act as a phagocytosis and plays the important role in the immune mechanism. Then the second function, that is the hematopoiesis. So during the fetal life, the RBC production that should be occur into that the spleen. Then third one, that is the lymphopoiesis. So that should be occurs throughout the life, means the production of the WBC. Third one, that is the immune response. So under the antigen stimulation, it increase the lymphopoiesis, means that is increase the WBC count, and you know the WBC, it is act as a phagocytosis and kills that the foreign particles or the foreign bodies. Then the storage of RBCs. So it store and release the RBC whenever it is needed. So these are the functions which is done by the spleen. Then see, that is the clinical application or the applied anatomy. So first, that is the palpitation of the spleen. So you know that is the spleen, it should be present on the left side, and into this region, that is the palpitation of the spleen that should be done on the left costal margin. So the position of the left costal margin, and normally the spleen, it is not palpebral. So if you can keep your hand into this region, the spleen cannot be palpated. Then the second, splenomegaly, means that is the enlargement of the spleen. So if the spleen is enlarged, so it can be palpated into that the left costal margin. So here you can see that is the enlargement of the spleen. So here that the mild enlargement of the spleen that should be occur, here that is the moderate enlargement of the spleen that should be occur, and here that is the severe enlargement of the spleen that should be occur, and that should be easily filled on the left costal margin. Then the splenectomy, means that is the removal of or surgically removal of the spleen. So in this condition, that is the partial splenectomy is done, and into this, that is any segments of the spleen. We had seen that is the two segments, the superior and the inferior. So that is the any segmental branches of the splenic artery, only one segment can be removed according to the state of the spleen. Okay. After then, that is the referred pain. So here you can see the referred pain. The pain of the splenic tissue is poorly localized, so it is also referred to that the epigastrium, and stretches of the splenic capsule produce a localized pain into that the posterior left upper quadrant. So here you can see that is the hypochondrium. So that is called the refer pain of the spleen. After then, the partial splenectomy is done. After then, the splenectomy. The spleen can be cut into a small pieces, and this can be implanted within the greater omentum of the stomach. And because of the vascularization, spleen can survive and does its function of the producing the antibodies. So that the surgically removing of the spleen, and it should be implanted into that the greater omentum of the stomach. So the function of the spleen that should be normally occurs into that the greater omentum of the spleen. So these are some clinical points related with that the spleen.